All right. It says we're live. Let's see. Mm, there we go. We're live. Awesome. Sweet. Sweet. Welcome. This is weird. I used to do this all the time. I used to come on here and sit in this very chair and do this all the time. But welcome. This is a new channel. Same setup, although different software. Hello. My name is John. I am the owner and the proprietor of the Woodridge Creek Homestead, both the homestead itself and the YouTube channel. And I just wanted to come on and talk. Hopefully, people can hear, people can see. I don't expect a lot of people to come in because we're not where we were on the other channel, but that's okay. I can still talk. Boy, I can talk. So, what do we got going on? There comes a point in any relationship or business or really anything like that where you get tired of talking to the other person. And that was kind of the impetus for coming live and starting a new YouTube channel or coming off of the old one because I'm pretty sure my wife is tired of hearing me talk. So that's where you guys come in. Hello. So here we are. Here we are. So what did I have to think? I have a little show prep. Boy, this isn't as easy as I remember it being. It's all right. We'll get through it. I wanted to talk about some of the things that went on this week, and then the topic that we put into the title, and then a couple other thoughts that I had about things going on in the homesteading community overall. So sit back, relax. Definitely add some comments in the chat. I'd love to chit chat with you. Ashley F says hello. Hello, Ashley F. How are you? So what do we got going on? We processed a couple birds here. A couple birds went into freezer camp. It was the end of my Cornish cross experiment. I started out with 6, ended up with 2. Not very good numbers. I was not very happy with my actual output, but the food and the actual birds itself were of pretty good size. So I'm kind of happy with that. I mean, that was got to be the 60th, somewhere in the 60s, 70s ish birds I've done, and I pretty much covered it in the video. But overall, after a little bit of time has spaced out now. I don't know. I'm probably going to do it again with a little bit of differences. I did heed a lot of the comments that went on from you guys and from the folks that left comments on the video. I'm probably going to do a chicken tractory setup and keep them kind of segregated from the rest of the flock and kind of, I don't know. It seems kind of weird. But if that's what they need, that's what they need. It's probably going to wait till the spring, though. What else do we have? A lot of chainsaw work, lots of chainsaw and tractor work. So that made me a very happy boy. Again, we made a video about that. I appreciate the folks that were watching. The 500i was really ripping, and the unsung star of the show, the 500i, the CCs get all the heat. They get all the attention. Oh, it's fastest, it rips, it can pull down a building. Oh, it's the fastest thing in the world. But I gotta say, and I think I heard uh Mrs. Larry Hoddle, I think her name is Robin, forgive me, actually apologizing on their channel about having to use the MS 180 because she's got a bad shoulder and she can't grip and rip the high CC saws. And I gotta be honest, I love the MS 180C. It is a tremendous little saw. It's got just enough power. I think it's like a 12 or a 14-inch bar. And for limbing and very small limbing, sticking, if you will, the tops, it's a tremendous saw. Super cheap, super duper cheap. I think it was less than 200 bucks when I bought it. And it is you know, about as far away as you can get from the 500 than really anything else. So, uh, I really enjoy it. There's no reason to apologize that for using that 180. I almost definitely use the 180 more than I use the 500. But MS 180 videos don't get the views. So most of that footage ended up on the cutting room floor. But I'm gonna write that down. Maybe I will. Maybe you'll get more views. I'm talking to myself here because more people are gonna go out and get an MS 170 or a 180 than a 500. John Q homeowner doesn't need a 500. He got some bushes to trim, a little pine tree. Oh, there's a bird stuck in a. Yeah, I'm gonna make a MS 180 video. Thank you for the inspiration. Yes, I'm talking to myself, but that's cool. All the cool people talk to themselves. You ever been on a subway? Full of the coolest people you ever seen. What else? Let's check the show notes here. Ashley says the video is trash. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if that fixes it. This is a new software. Fix it at 5, I will come down. Okay. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Wonderful. Um, oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Thank you for producing from the other room. But that's actually pretty nice. That's 1080. You can see me in all my beauty. Okay, let's get back on. Let's get back on track here. What were we saying? What else did we do this week? I did the we did we called out Blue Eddy, Jackery, and EcoFlow. One of the channels that I forgot to mention when I made that video was all the prepping channels. All the prepping channels get the free batteries. I didn't get no free batteries. There's a element of homesteading that in and of itself is prepper in nature. But that term got conscripted by neckbeards, so nobody wants to say like, "Oh yeah, I keep a rooster around to grow food in case the Russians start bombing us." They put you on a list if you say something like that. But that's the reality. There is an element of prepping to homesteading. But you can't use that term because people they get all tinfoil hatty. Growing your own food, possessing the knowledge to grow your own food, process your own food, and preserve your own food. What's more prepper than that? So again, I'm reaching out to Jackery, Blue Eddy, or EcoFlow. I'll even take a knockoff. And send me a power bank. Send me a solar generator. I would love to try it. And I don't know. I don't know. I made my 30-second plea to them, and I know it's kind of I'm smiling. It's tongue in cheek. Um, but I think that there is I don't know. I said I was going to behave on this channel. Uh, we all know YouTube is a business, and you want to get your stuff in front of eyeballs, and I simply don't have the eyeballs to do it. But I like doing Are They Worth It videos, and if you guys want to reach out. Now, all that being said, it really is kind of a joke because I made vows to myself as far as this channel goes, and whatever friendships or community that may come about this channel. On the other channel, there were a number of people that I met in real life. We traveled together. I still talk to them. We still trade battle stories and war stories. And that channel, It's kind of dormant now. That was for the business, my actual personal business. It's got nothing to do with chainsaws. It's got nothing to do with anything that goes on here. But there was a community that developed over there, and I had certain values over there. So when I jumped over to this channel, none of those people came over to this channel, which was totally cool. I'm fine with that, and I was ready to be open and open my arms to a new community because of something that I felt so strongly about, which is the homesteading and self-sufficient and self-proficientness of living on your own, on in concert with just being a regular homeowner, which there's trials and tribulations with that as well. What's the point of all that? The it kind of it dovetails into my next point. Is there a place in the YouTube, in the homesteading community, uh, that I don't think I'll ever do an ad for, no matter how big the chat get, the chat, no matter how big the channel gets. I don't think I'll ever do an Athletic Greens commercial. I have a job. That was the other channel. I have a job. I don't know if I'll ever do random ads. I don't know if I'll do ads, period. Because let me let you guys in on a little something. Things that are advertised on podcasts are junk. The toothbrushes, the mattresses, the underwears, all those things are junk. And then every YouTuber who wants to have an ounce of credibility goes, well, I wouldn't advertise for anything unless it was a product I would use. When them checks come in, you start using the world's shittiest, you start using the world's crappiest toothbrushes and say that they're the greatest because those zeros make you talk. But that was not my motivation in the channel. My motivation for this channel and the relationships that I've developed are not off of money. So yeah, I would love to get a Kubota SVL 90-2 and a Kubota excavator. But I don't know if I'm going to share the same way of getting there. John Jones says, "You remind me of this eBay dude I used to know. How about that?" How about that? I'm blushing. I'm blushing. I uh I was somebody that I was an eBay somebody that a lot of people used to know, or not that many. But that was a thriving community, and I mean, if you want to talk about it, there's no one else here, so I might as well kind of address that. Um, there was the last video that I made on that channel was a live stream just like this, same setting, same everything, and it was unmonetized. Not that I made real money on that channel anyway, but it was taken down, and it was because of COVID. It was me it was me joking and trashing the COVID things that were in place. And I said, well, that's it. I'll just never upload anything again. Like eBay would ever know like YouTube would ever notice. And I never did. I never did upload. I never sat down in this chair again with the intent of giving YouTube any portion of the money or the attention that I was creating because of COVID. And that was 589 days ago. I looked before I came on, and I said, I'm just not going to do it anymore. And I didn't, and I stopped, and there was nothing wrong with it. Believe me, I still resell. It pays for all the toys. It pays for the toys that we talk about on this channel. Reselling is still very much part of my life, but uh, it's not why I exist on YouTube anymore. So, John Jones, thanks for bringing that up. Give me a chance to clear that up. Even though no one from that channel, and not you included, but not a lot of people came from that channel over to this channel. So anyway, getting back on the point, which was I'm probably not going to do any ads on this channel anyway. Maybe we'll laugh in a year or 5. Uh, oh my God, but I highly doubt it. There's enough good stuff that comes along with not taking ads and just kind of putting yourself out there. Nate up at Firewood on the Furnace or whatever they call them, Brad up there, someone gifted him a 500. He gets to a 500 with a 32-inch bar. Someone gifted it just by putting content out there. The guy didn't ask for nothing. The He was also the user. He was has the ability to use that nice Easton made. You know, that's tremendous. That's from putting it out there. And that's just the kind of foremost in my mind, or foremost of what's going on here. Recently, um, I watch a lot of the firewood channels. I watch a lot of firewood channels, and I guess it is true from the other channel also. People just give you stuff. The good Lord, your cup will floweth over. You know, you're only going to receive as much as you can handle. And like I said, a lot of those relationships from that still are going on today, and I would like that to go on over here. So John says, I came for the reselling, but I stayed for the chainsaws and chickens. Well, for that, honestly, I am eternally grateful. Thank you for that. Because that was the passion then. It's still a passion. I shouldn't say that, but that was the passion. That was the thing that I was passionate about to stand in front of the camera for then. And now this is what I'm really passionate about. And I think, you take these YouTube classes and they're like, oh, just make videos for you. Just be passionate. People can sniff it out. Yeah. And that was also another thing on that channel. I wasn't passionate. I wasn't I wasn't doing anything any different from anybody else, so I didn't want to talk about it. We're over here, even though I'm making the same video as everybody else, and I kind of tongue in cheek pointed out, I'm still passionate enough about it that I want to. I don't care if anybody watches, because that's the video that I want to make, because I want to share it like I started with, and my wife is tired of hearing about CCs. She doesn't want to hear the word John Deere anymore. She doesn't want to hear about chickens. She just wants the chickens in the freezer and have the ability to cook them. But where in the fun is that? I want to share this experience with people. And they say, well, who are you making? Back in when radio was a thing, they used to make you put like a picture on the mic stand of who were you talking to. And on this channel, I feel like I want to be talking to people who were in a position that Ashley and I, my wife and I, were in together, where we were city slickers. She grew up in Philadelphia. I grew up in New York. And not to say that this was a lifelong dream, but after a while, that life gets tired. And I like to think that I make videos. Probably not. I should really refocus on that. On someone who's sitting in a cube and going, I could do that. Um, who Goldshaw Farms did it better in the beginning. He was better at kind of bridging that gap, and the buffoonery that goes on when you first start doing this, and the trips and the falls and the stutter starts, and the successes that go around to it. The problem is with that channel, it's not that anymore. So I don't really watch that channel anymore. And so it gets to the question that I have written down here. Is there a place? Is there a place here on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere else for just a regular channel without Bible quotes, without government conspiracy theories, without tinfoil hattedness? I want to make at least this channel, to me, I want it to be a work safe space, a place where it's just about grit and dirt and hard work and my crappy choices in music, and the I guess there's going to be trials and tribulations as well, but I generally edit them all out to make it look like I know what I'm doing. And I know I should leave them in to kind of humanize it, but I'm not ready for the comments yet. But even someone like Tractor Time with Tim, every video has to and it's his choice, that's totally fine, is punctuated by a Bible quote, even if it has nothing to do with the video. And you got the guy up over there who dresses like the Amish guy, but if you say, hey, why do you dress like an Amish guy? He fights with you over it. And he wears, underneath his Amish hat is a tinfoil bowl to prevent the government from sucking his mind out. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to avoid over here. It's just a nuts and bolts grease? And is there a place on YouTube for that? Now, being more salacious and being more outlandish gets you more clicks and more views, but so does asking a question or proposing an issue. I can say from experience from the other channel and this channel too, you can be controversial without pulling in any of the big three: the religion, the politics, and whatever the other one is. You could do that. Do you want to know how? Post an answer, even if it's wrong. I was taking a course one time and they told you if you ever wanted to get the heat, what is it, Cunningham's law? One of the laws where it's like, you want to get the correct answer? Post it, and then you'll have 50 people correcting you. Great. But it's now, ever since, been revised to intentionally post the wrong whatever opinion, answer, and you will get more people than you could ever imagine correcting you, because people love correcting people on the internet. So that's why I don't leave a lot of my goof ups in the videos. But believe me, there are some. I'm human. There are some. So that's my first question to you. Is there a place on YouTube for just work and diesel and chain oil? If there is, that's where I'm trying to carve out my niche. The next one down is the next topic I have written down here. I saw he was one of us. One of us. Gooble gobble, one of us. He was a homesteader, and he said, in 2023, is it time to retire the term homesteading? And of course, all the literal Larrys were like, yes, of course, because we're not fighting off Indians. I think he actually said, well, we're not fighting off Indians. Can we just retire the term homesteading? And yes, the term origin is, government and homestead, and here's live off the land. So I asked this to Ashley. I asked her, well, what term would you use? Because you're not a farm. For me, at least, farming has a monetary connotation to it. You're growing something with the intent to sell it and make money and survive. To me, that's a farm. Maybe I'm wrong. That's fine. She suggested farmette, and I just said, well, that's the same thing with "et" added to it. Smaller. And then we said, well, hobby. Yeah, I guess a hobby farm. I just couldn't come up with a better name than homesteading. What is the term, if we're going to retire homesteading, the term homesteading, because it's been conscripted by or overtaken by the Pinterest folks with the boutique chickens. It's not my opinion. I'm merely mimicking what I heard in the or saw in the Twitter thread. What term would you use? What term would you use if we're going to retire the term homesteading? I try to live off the land as much as possible, but also at the same time, Amazon comes 3 times a week. I'm not off grid. I never claim to be. I never want to be. I want to be left alone. And it goes back to what we started with. There's a little bit of prepping to it too. That I want to relinquish the control of anyone else that could potentially be. We saw it during the last couple of years. What happens when the gas runs out? What happens when the chicken eggs are $8 a dozen? These things eventually may work themselves out, but chance favors the prepared mind. So you can't call yourself a prepper. You can't call yourself like a doomsday rationalist, because you don't want to, that's a terrible connotation. You don't want to, if you're not allowed to call yourself a homesteader, what can you call yourself? What are you supposed to call yourself? The dirt under my fingernails, I own. I own that dirt. A lot of guys go home with dirty fingernails from grease or something on a machine that's not theirs. They just happen to work on it. This dirt is mine. My home. Why can't we call it homesteading anymore. I'm still going to continue to call it a homestead. I might take homestead out of the name of the channel though, where it says Woodridge Creek, and just keep it at Woodridge Creek. Only for other people's live streams where they're like, Woodridge Creek Homestead has a funny. And I'm like, it's not funny. By the time you're done reading it, it's not funny. I thought handles was supposed to take care of this. I thought YouTube handles were supposed to take care of it, so I changed my handle to John WCH Woodridge Creek Homestead, and it's still. Oh, that's a funny joke by Woodridge Creek Homestead, and I can never read it. It's too long. That was dumb. That was dumb on my part. I was trying to be literal Larry. This is what we are. It should just been John Deere Steel Homestead. Probably would have got sued. Probably almost definitely would have got sued. It's really hard to name a channel. There's 50 billion channels out there. There's like 800 minutes of YouTube gets uploaded every day. It's hard to come up with a channel name. All right, so we're coming up on 26 minutes. I said there was no way I was going to do an hour. I used to do an hour every week on the other channel. I don't think I'm ready to do an hour yet, so I'll probably do 30, 35. In the confluence, the Venn diagram this week of self-sufficiency and YouTube, or I don't think they're homesteaders. They might be. I don't really know much about the channel, but there's a channel called Pure Living for Life. And if you're aware of it, leave a like and a comment and what your thoughts are. But they have a channel. It's called Pure Living for Life. I think it's Jesse and Ashley. I don't remember the girl's name. I don't watch them. I just don't. But their video that came out earlier this week, it said they're YouTubers to the end. It was like kicked off YouTube, something like that. And it was all about how January is cyberbullying month, and they were cyberbullied. You're like, oh, all right. These things happen. We deal with crappy comments. I had a video go viral over the summer, and it was literally 2 months of waking up and going to sleep reading comments that are just awful, calling you awful names. It's not a nice feeling, but at the same time, I didn't have that input if I wasn't looking at the screen. I didn't have that negativity when I was not looking at a screen. It never affected me that bad, or nothing really happened. It might have affected some of my behaviors, and it did end up changing some of the things that I was doing around here. But at the same time, without the screen, it didn't bother me any. So these folks over at Pure Living for Life make this video, and it was way, way, way worse than cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is someone calls you a racial epithet in an Xbox chat. That's cyberbullying. These people were doxxed. They had CPS called on them, like that thing where they're like, oh yeah, they're abusing their kids, and completely unfounded. There was entire Facebook groups. There were entire Facebook groups, Reddit threads, and entire websites where their information was blasted out to people. It was completely out of control. They went so far as to put obviously, at that point when they're doxxed, they put a Google pin on their house on Google Maps. Completely awful. But still in the realm of cyberbullying, all right. They didn't get swatted, I don't believe. But people started showing up at their house. People started showing up. Conspiracy people, they don't actually live here. I wasn't able to glean what the impetus for all the cyberbullying was. Like, how did it start? I never got that. I never got that information. But apparently the Reddit threads are still up and the Facebook groups are still live. And they were showing Ring camera footage of people showing up to their house and peeking in their windows and parking on their street and coming up and just beyond the term, they almost cheapened it by calling it cyberbullying. These people were being terrorized by literal e-terrorists. And I know for sure, I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Facebook, Instagram, social media, anything like that. When you put yourself out to the world, you get the world back. And 99% of the people, I'm not going to do 99.9 because let's leave a little room in there for craziness. 99% of the people out there are totally fine. They're going to consume your comment, they're going to consume your content, leave a comment, and then go about your way. Because, I mean, in all honesty, if I build my chicken coop the wrong way, what do you care? What do you? This is gonna collapse. You used 3 hurricane straps when you needed 4. Like, okay, great. I'll go screw it in. Great. But what the pure living for life people went through was literal terrorism, literally affecting their lives, affecting their safety. And there's no better way to end this initial live stream. Brandon S., thank you very much for coming. Then a fair warning. And if you ever listen to the other John Jones, if you're still in here, if you ever listen to the other show, you know that this is a very this topic was covered pretty extensively. I remember saying it more than once. If you want to come by, you email, you call, you say, hey, let's chainsaw together, and you go, okay. Don't show up unannounced. I'm going to tell you this right now. There's a gate out there. No big deal. Do not come to our property unannounced. You don't know where the claymores are, and you don't know where the punji pits are, and I have a backhoe. So let's just keep it on the level. If for some reason you were ever like, hey, I need chicken advice, can I come by and see your setup? Sure. I'll run you through the computer. And if the box next to your name says not a serial killer, and that box is checked, or serial killer, and it's not checked, you can probably come by. We'll probably talk about chickens. Probably stay a lot longer than you thought you were going to, because I'm going to get on my high horse and talk about chickens. Don't show up unannounced to anyone's house, especially mine. But really anyone's. I've emailed other channels, other homesteading channels, and other firewood channels. That's the word I'm looking for. Firewood channels, like, hey, let's collab. One of the things, the Gary V's, and they tell you, like, hey, reach out to some channels. 2 is better than 1. Combine efforts. You get your other person's audience, and maybe you get a little cross homogenation there. So I'll email some, maybe once a week. I'll send an email off to a different channel. Hey, I'll even travel to you. Like, hey, let's put this mug in front of other channel. Share subscribership. 100% of those emails go unanswered, but it doesn't hurt. The worst thing that you're going to get is a no. So 100% of those emails so far have gone unanswered, but I'm still going to try. I don't do it all the time. Every once in a while, I'll send an email like, this seems like a cool guy. I'd go cut a tree with this guy, then drink a beer. I'd go help him cut his chickens' heads off, which is not a sentence I ever thought I would say growing up in the 80s in Brooklyn. But, you got to stretch out. You want to make a community. You want a community on your own channel? You want a community on YouTube? You want to feel part of a community? Cool. Do it the right way. Do it the right way. Whether you're a YouTuber or a person who consumes YouTube or a bad guy, if you show up at the house, bad things, nothing good is going to happen. Cancel Christmas. You get your Google phone out and you could just, nope, not going to Christmas this year. Don't show up to anybody's house. People who are standing in front of a camera that are creating content for free and putting it out there to you don't owe you anything. Even if I didn't, or even if they didn't actually live at this property and this was all a set and this was all make-believe, that's what we grew up watching. Some of the basic cornerstones of our society are based on movies and music and things that are just made up. Folks who are standing in front of a camera on YouTube don't owe anybody anything. Don't show up to anybody's house, especially this one. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. So to recap, my name is John. I'm the owner and proprietor of Woodridge Creek Homestead. We talked about some of the things that went on here. Should we retire the term homesteading? I don't think so. I think people just want to be edgelords and be cool on the internet and go, well, I'm not going to call it this anymore. Well, what are you going to call it? Make up a new word. I'll conscribe to that new word. Is there a place for a channel like mine where it's not all a bunch of ads? It's not a bunch of religion, conspiracy theories. The government's going to fall. The government's not going to fall and go the other way and take everything over. How about just a work channel? Next week, this is enthralling. This is how we get, this is called a hook, right? This is how we're going to get it. Next week, we're going to talk about chains, chainsaw chains. We're gonna talk about chainsaw chains and like comp and full skip. And this is how I get you to watch next week. Project Jericho. I just saw this was a thing. It seems like I need to rewind a bit. Well, first of all, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me the inspiration. I don't actually know your name, but thank you for the inspiration to stop making shorts all the time and get back into long form, because I do like making YouTube videos. It's not, you'll hear that constant thing over and over. Well, I don't like editing. Well, don't be bad at filming, and you don't have to really worry about editing too much. John Joe says, I missed this, to be honest. I kind of missed it. There's a natural progression to it where I was like, I don't need to live stream. I don't need to get this off my chest. And then I started cutting the heads off of my chickens and putting them in the freezer. And I was like, I need to talk to somebody about this. And it wasn't like a doctor. I just wanted to talk to other people. So thank you for surviving, John Jones. Thank you for surviving the last 589 days between the last iteration of me sitting behind this microphone, behind this wall. Same shitty kids artwork. Damn, that's the second time I cursed. Same crappy kids artwork. Nothing has changed. The kids are fantastic. Ashley's fantastic. The house is fantastic. And I'm fantastic. The guys, thank you so much for watching or listening, however you're choosing to digest this. I'm out of here. I'm probably going to do this again next week because why not? It's not like anything else goes on Sundays, right? Sports ball. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Catch you on the next one. Do I have an outro? I don't. Goodbye. It's nighttime. Good night.